All right, you're listening to Big Blend Radio with Nancy and Lisa, the mother-daughter team and publishers of BigBlendMagazines.com. And, we're a mother-daughter team. Not only are we publishers, but we're, travelers. We've been traveling together since the day I was born. Before that, right?
Sounds like paint your wagon.
Yeah, I know, right? But I know a lot of our listeners and audiences know that this spring we kicked off our Spirit of America tour. And we did this because the National Park Centennial is coming up in 2016, and we are wanting to protect all our 397 national park units, the national recreation areas. There's places like Sequoia National Park, Kings Canyon National Park, Yosemite, Yellowstone, but there's also a lot of historic sites and monuments. So we wanted to get into all the parks. We are doing articles, videos, you name it, radio shows from the areas, and talking about the gateway communities. And this is what happened. We just kicked it off. We thought, let's go for it. Let's do it. And we went to Cabrillo National Monument. By the way, Cabrillo landed in San Diego on this date, back in the 1500s.
Yeah.
This date, September 28th. Yep, he did.
And he couldn't find any restaurants.
Yeah, so he was our first stop.
And there was no place to stay.
No, but he brought spices. He was cool. He was cool. But that was our first national park, and then we went up to the Sequoia National Park, and that was our second stop. And while we were there, we visited the communities of Porterville, Exeter, Visalia, Dinuba, all of the gateway communities, but also Three Rivers, California. They're right at the foothills of the Sequoia National Park. You can take a bus up there, a shuttle bus. You don't even have to drive up there if you don't want to. But it is really a beautiful area, and it is on a river. It's really cool. So that was our second park visit, and we haven't had enough of it. I mean, we actually had to go there twice, Nancy, and we're still not done.
I don't think there's any limit to the times you can go to beautiful places.
Well, I think we have to go every season. I know you want us to do the polar bear dip in Three Rivers on January 1st. But
January 1st. Yes, you need a little tickling first.
Yeah, a little tickling and then wake-up call. Well, we've got some great guests joining us to talk about Three Rivers and also talk about the art of Three Rivers. It's a beautiful community, like I said. We have Leah Launey joining us, and Leah and her husband Peter run Three Rivers Bed and Breakfast, where we stayed, and you can check it out online if you go to threeriversbedandbreakfast.com. Leah, how are you doing?
Oh, just great. It's wonderful to be here. Thanks for inviting us.
Oh, well, we love the area, and I just don't think we spend enough time. That's the problem. That's our issue with it. Well, there's a lot to do, and I know that you're also the president and representative of the Sequoia Foothills Chamber of Commerce. And so threerivers.com, is that the best place for people to go to get all the events and all the information for the region?
That is, and I'm one of the directors on the board, but I'm not actually the president this year. My husband Peter is, though.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Hi, Peter. Don't we say hi? No,
he's first man.
Yes, and you can be the first lady of the Sequoia Foothills. Can we call you that?
I guess so.
Well, it's better than me calling you madam, right?
Yes.
So threerivers.com is where you can go, and this is what really blew my mind. I know we stayed there, and we did a lot up in the national park, but it seems like there is something going on all the time, and Three Rivers is not a big community.
That's right. I mean, we might be slightly more than 2,000 residents in Three Rivers, but I tell you what, we celebrate all year long with music and art, and the opportunities to enjoy the great outdoors here are just boundless. You can be as quiet as you like or as adventurous as you like.
Awesome. It's a beautiful. How did you get to Three Rivers? You weren't born and raised there, right? Because I know from your cooking that you lived in Louisiana.
Oh, yes. I lived in Louisiana and Jamaica, and I was born in France. But I found Three Rivers through Peter. My husband introduced the kids and I to it at Thanksgiving one year, and we just basically fell in love with it. It was so gorgeous in the fall, and that's what we have coming up shortly, don't we? It's almost November.
Yeah, the fall. Wow, well, this is good timing. I like this. I want to also bring, we've got Bill Haxton on the line as well. Now, Bill is a representative of the Three Rivers Performing Arts Institute. Bill, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, thank you, Lisa. I'm very well.
Well, this is exciting because, when you drive through Three Rivers, it's really, I'm going to say it's eclectic, but it's very warm and cozy. And then you think about a Performing Arts Institute. Wow, this is not something you would usually think of on your way up into a park.
Well, it isn't, and there are a couple of reasons why we were able to do this here. One, primarily, I think, is the people. As Leah said earlier, this is an extraordinarily diverse community, and with, as you earlier referenced, all of the natural beauty around us, the mountains and the rivers. In fact, during the winter, Three Rivers is just, surrounded by mountains with a mantle of snow. I mean, it is just breathtakingly beautiful here. And I think the community just has a wonderful appreciation of beauty in all forms. And, we got this chamber music thing going by virtue of a wonderful, happy accident that occurred a couple of years ago, and it's just evolved into where it is today, which is really becoming something.
So now the best place for people to go is Three Rivers. And when I say Three Rivers, all the time you're spelling it out. Three Rivers, PAI.org, and that stands for Performing Arts Institute. Bill, how did you end up in Three Rivers? Were you born and raised there?
Oh, no.
I want your scandal. No.
Actually, it's not a scandalous story, but it's maybe some people think it's pretty cool. Back in the 1990s, my wife and I decided to go sailing, and we bought a sailboat and moved on board and took off into the Pacific, where we spent the entire decade of the 90s, island hopping to Australia and back. But just before we had left, we made friends with people who were still living in San Diego, but had just bought a home in Three Rivers, which they were fixing up to retire to. And while my wife Ann and I were sailing, they did move to Three Rivers. When we got back 7 years later, we called them, we came to visit, and just fell in love with the place.
Wow. What a great story. That's exciting. Now, I got to bring Jeremy on the line. Jeremy Cormier. Now, I want to say Cormier because we've just chatted with an Adley Cormier from Louisiana. So is it Cormier or Cormier, Jeremy?
Actually, it's Cormier.
Okay, Cormier. Okay, so I was just bringing the French to you. And Leah, am I right about the French? Am I even pronouncing it right?
Yes, you were correct about the French.
Okay. You never know with us here, and it's Friday afternoon. Anything could happen. But, Jeremy, I know that you are very involved in regards to the art galleries, such as the Art Co-op, Colors Art Gallery, and also the first Saturday's art event that happens every month. But before you get there, I want to hear your story about Three Rivers.
Well, I actually I came to Three Rivers about 13 years ago, and that's a very long story. I don't know if it's worth all the details. But basically, I'm from a small town in Massachusetts, and I lived in L.A. for a short while, and, that was never really my thing. I really like the small town atmosphere here. I like being able to go to a shop and know the people that are in the shop. It's not cold. It's very warm and comfortable, and you know people. You say hi to people you see on the street. You wave to people as you drive by. I like that. So I really love this place. It's home to me.
And it is. I think there's always that connection with people, and I think when you travel, that's one of the most important things. Sometimes you remember, you will remember the art or the scenery and the nature, attractions, but I think it's, connecting with people that sometimes really is what brings you back. There's that warmth and hospitality, and Three Rivers seems like a very welcoming community, very open, laid back, relaxed.
Yeah. It is. It's very much a very welcoming community. When me and my partner Derek moved here, it was open arms the whole way. People were so comfortable with us, so welcoming to us. We would go into stores and, we haven't seen you before. Who are you? And, it's just people just talk to you, and they want to know your story. It's wonderful. I love it.
And that's, I think, where visitors bring that back with them. And Leah, have you experienced that with your guests at the B&B? That when they interact with people in Three Rivers?
Oh yes, they love going to the shops. They try to get back from the park early enough so they can get there.
Yeah,
they always want to see the art and go try the different restaurants. Go check out the old post office. Go see Paul Bunyan in front of the museum, that huge Paul Bunyan statue. Have you seen that, Lisa?
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
We like Paul.
That's the huge What's he, like 40 feet tall or something?
He's big. I remember driving by going, okay, we got to stop. See, that's the thing. And I know you've got a museum there, too, that we could go in.
That's right, and that's where the Chamber's office is also. We share space with the Three Rivers Historical Museum, and that's also where our little visitor center is, too, for the town. So it's a great place to stop.
Nice. Now, when we think about fall and Four Seasons, to me, you're not that high up in altitude. And I know Nancy and I have lived in some Four Season destinations like Julian, California, known for apples. And, people always tend to go there in the fall because of apples and apple pie. But they never realize that, there's, it's springtime, the orchards are all in bloom. There's wildflowers, there's daffodils, there's all of that. Summer is beautiful. In fall, winter, and you get a little bit of snow. Is it kind of the same thing? What elevation are you at when it comes to Four Seasons?
Well, we've got different elevations because we're in the foothills. I, for instance, am down low by the river. And I think
you are, with blackberries right there.
They're almost
That's right, blackberries and quail running around, and it's great. But up at the top of the lot, there's a hill. I think the highest we are at is something like 865 feet above sea level, something like that, the top of the lot. But other people in town are, more than 1,000 feet, 1,500, maybe 2,000 feet in the foothills.
Oh, wow. So then it's
Is
not
that right,
really
Bill?
that...
Something like that.
So it's not so much like when you think about even winter, I think a lot of people get scared about thinking, oh, let's go to Sequoia National Park. Oh, no, it's going to be snowing up the mountain there. So would you...
Oh, no. In Three Rivers, it basically doesn't snow, or if we get any snow, it's just a light dusting that melts away really fast. And we get the enjoyment of driving on into the park where all the beautiful snow is to play in and to ski on and to snowshoe walk on. It's just gorgeous.
See, that's what we want to do, snowshoe walk.
That's the best of both worlds because you can go play, but you don't have to shovel.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. and Leah, this is from Nancy. You know how she is. She's like, okay, we're going to do the polar bear dip, okay. And then she's like, we're going to do the bathtub races, and our friend Debbie, their whole family, both the ladies go, the moms are in the bathtub.
That's right.
And the kids get to take us across.
They do the other stuff.
Yeah. Well, that might not be the safest place. You might prefer to be on shore hanging on to the boat, but that's up to you.
Oh. No, I want to be in the bathtub.
Yeah, she's the bathtub queen.
I want to do the queen's wave as it goes under.
Well, this is interesting. So, when you look at the art and the music there, and that was one thing when we went out to dinner with you and Peter, Leah, and where was that? That was some really good Mexican food.
Oh, Haxton. Oh, yes. That was wonderful.
That's the thing. Your whole region has some of the best Mexican food, and we're in Tucson, and we have great Mexican food here. But then when you go up Central California, you're like, wait a minute, man.
Well, it's a different style. But,
yes.
It was a very busy restaurant.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yes. It's popular. Well, there are many styles, to Mexican food and Southwest food in general. There's so many countries involved and then so many states in Mexico. I mean, there are a lot of different styles there, different culinary styles.
I think that's part of it. And the balcony, that doesn't, when you eat out there, you can actually overlook the river. Like I remember Reimer's Candies being there many years ago, and they're on the river too. So pretty much all the businesses follow the river.
Well, a lot of them do. The funny thing about Reimer's is, they are across the river from our little bed and breakfast, and they're only about 5 buildings over on the opposite side of the river. So in the summer, when the river gets low, we can walk to the candy store.
Hey, and then you walk back, a little exercise. That's good for you. I like this. I'm liking this. Let's talk a little bit about music. Bill, with the Three Rivers Performing Arts Institute, I think this is incredible because, we're talking about a chamber music series. You also do a concert in the grass. Now, where are your musicians coming from? Are they from Three Rivers? Are you importing them?
A little bit of both. The concert on the grass, which actually occurs tomorrow. In fact, I came here from setting up the stage to be a part of this interview. Tomorrow's concert occurs in my backyard. It's a big sprawling lawn under the shade of oak trees, and We have a nice sound system. Most of the talent for there is local, but we have very, very good local talent.
That's right.
There's a trio that's going to be doing Beethoven's Archduke Trio, which is a famous piece. There's a young ballerina, 16 years old now. She's already 6 feet tall and is just, I think she could go as far in ballet as she wanted to go. She is just a tremendous prodigy. She's going to dance for us. So that's tomorrow's concert on the Green,
So concert on the Green. So where do you actually host the concert on the Green? Where's
it's in the backyard of my home. We have a 7-acre property in the foothills. We've got a fairly large lawn, lots of big spreading oak trees. So the neighbor next door to us, this goes back a little bit to what Leah said earlier, just how welcoming and cooperative the community is. The people who help put on the concert, we have volunteers from all over town, and our neighbors next door have a bigger ranch. They let us do all the parking over there. So that saves our property for people to mill about, find nice seats for setting up their picnic blankets and their lawn chairs, and then the concert starts, and we entertain them for an hour and a half.
Nice. So are people bringing their own food then?
They do, bring picnics.
Like a real picnic.
And actually, they do bring their own wine as well. And our MC,
wait a minute.
Yeah, I know, it's real true. But our MC has to make a special announcement before every concert because Ann and I have this cat. By the way, his name is Lafitte, after the wine, who loves wine. And this cat will, if you don't guard your glass on the lawn, this cat will actually have his head in it, lapping it up.
Oh, now this is my style of cat. Now, have you introduced Lafitte to Leah's Plum Cordial?
Actually, I haven't, but that's next.
Leah.
Oh, Bill, you haven't tried the plum cordial. It's kind of wild plum cordial.
Well, I'll bring my cat when I come.
This is good. I love this. Okay, so you've got cat, wine, plum cordial in a backyard with your own picnic. I think this is cool because this is
fun.
About being, real in life. And I think we get so used to, not being, we're all trapped in a building half the time when it comes to music. And I would love it. And it's very difficult to even host outdoor concerts. I'm a musician, and Leah, you are too. I mean, getting the sound right and making it work, but it's the most freeing feeling for the performers. And it's just, I don't know, it's a way where music and nature connect when you're outside.
Well, it really is, and we have wonderful technicians, too. We've got a couple of sound guys who are just terrific, a local composer who's going to have a piece premiered in October. He's also, helps us put this show on, and it is. It's a big event, takes a lot of help. The whole community pitches in to make it happen, and it's just one of our.
Cool.
And as you said, it's very relaxed. We love it when kids come of all ages. We don't care when children start crying. We like it if they run around the lawn and play during the event. We want people, children particularly, to get a very solid appreciation for beauty and music and art and poetry at an early age, so they're not scared off from it.
Right.
Nice.
Right, and
like
Leah, that was something when we had dinner. You were talking about how the kids and the youth of Three Rivers are really involved band-wise.
Oh, yes. Well, at Three Rivers Union School, they have opportunities to play in the band there. And for Pete's sake, we have a drum circle that meets every week on Sunday.
Wow.
Anybody can go participate in that. There just seems to be a lot of love for music here. We have a jazz club that's very supportive, and the High Sierra Traditional Jazz Band, which has been here for, 40 years or something now. And we put together a jazz festival every year in April called Jazz Affair.
See, there's always something going on here. This is amazing, and I think
they're busy.
You've got wine, you've got plum cordial, you've got a river. You see, I always thought the best thing, this is how I'm going to retire, is on a river with a house, and the top of the house, the roof is going to be a big stage, so you can just totally rock it and overlook the river. Right? That's my dream, right? But let's talk about art, because I think there is something amazing about these communities where you are right outside a national park, and like I was saying at the beginning of the show, a lot of the national parks, art was such a big part of it. I know that art is a big issue for what's happening in the Centennial program for Sequoia National Park, that it's really a huge focus, art education and then people's wellness and taking a hike. That whole issue with their call to action report of where we want to go with, when we have the Centennial with our national parks, where are we going to go forward from there? And art's huge. So, Jeremy, do you think that, part of having the park and the river is what attracts the artists?
100%, absolutely. A lot of the art, even that we have here in Colors, is hugely inspired by Sequoia National Park and the mountains around us. You can't not be inspired by the springtime mountains, and the lupin and the flowers, the wildflowers everywhere. It's just beautiful. And, I think that's why a lot of people, a lot of artists live in this community and communities like this, because there's nothing but inspiration all around you.
Yeah, I think that is a part. Do you know how many artists you do have in the community?
I don't. A lot. I represent about 40 artists here at Colors. There is probably another 30 or so, 20 to 30 that are represented at the Art Co-op, which is right next door to my store, Colors. And then there's other artists that aren't even represented in our stores. And there's people, like people like me who just kind of do art. I do it as a hobby. I don't do it, as a profession. So, there's all these kinds of people that do art just because you live in such a beautiful, inspirational area. You can't help not be inspired.
Wow. I think being Four Seasons, as an artist, you get to change your palette.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that is really inspiring, because after a while you can fall into, I'm using the same colors because I really like them, and then one day you look outside and go, oh.
And that's
I call it living in sync with nature.
Yes.
Because that's how you get aware of the cycles of nature. Yeah. And Leah, I know we were out there hunting for bear for our videos and photos, and you're like, Nancy, Lisa, you need to come in the spring and the fall. I mean, here we are from Africa. We know go early in the morning, late at the end of the day, but it's like, that is the time. Everywhere is different. But spring and fall is a really good time to go see nature, and they change, like deer. Everything changes with deer, elk, and animals, during that time frame. So it's good
because you were here in the summer, and, in the summer, food is so plentiful around here for the animals that, if they're a little shy, if they see a crowd of people or a few people, they can avoid them and wait, and then come eat their berries or leaves or whatever they wanted. But when you get to fall, they start to get really worried. I mean, winter is almost on them, and they don't care anymore if there are people hanging around. They just go for the acorns, they go for the pine cones, and they don't. It's as if you're not there. So you have a much better chance of seeing a bear, seeing a whole lot of deer and wild turkeys if you come in the fall. And, of course, in the spring, because, they've been cooped up and they're hungry, and now there's a lot of food. So, once again, they don't see you, and they run after it. So you can see a lot more wildlife in the fall and in the spring.
I need to go commune with my family, the wild turkeys. Yeah, Jeremy, when I want to bring this up because I know you've got Colors Art Gallery, and I know people can find you on Facebook. And then you were talking about the Art Co-op, and I was reading that there's like over 27 artists, 30 artists, like you were saying. That, everybody, you can go to theartcoop.com with a dash in between the co-op. Okay, so theartcoop.com. But the first Saturday of the month, I think this is great because it's something everyone remembers, is the first Saturday. It seems like everything's opened up for people to, you have like an actual event that happens every Saturday that incorporates not only the art, but the actual businesses and the restaurants.
Yes, absolutely. The first Saturday of every month, a group of people, they put together, myself included, an event where artists set up on the streets. The shops have specialty discounts or promotions. This month, we're actually, Leah's daughter, Simone, is going to be giving away some of her CDs this first Saturday in October. So that's going to be October 6th, I believe. So there's all kinds of promotions that go on. Some of my artists will actually come down, and you get to meet the artists. They come out of their studios and they hang out here at Colors, and they hang out at the co-op.
Come out of their cave.
Yeah, they come out of their cave, and you get to meet them, which is nice because you get to hear about their process, and you get to hear about what do they do, what do they use, what's their inspiration, and sometimes they'll even bring treats, which is always fun. So little things to snack on, a little bit of wine, a little bit of snack, makes it a fun event.
Oh, I'm ready for that. So this happens every month of the year?
Yes, yes.
Wow. So that's everybody, firstSaturdayTR.com, and it's the numeric first, number 1, ST Saturday, TR for Three Rivers. Check that out. I know we're going to be posting all this information on our ChampagneSundaysMagazine.com and also VacationStationMagazine.com. So that's the first Saturday every month. Bill, just circling back to you on this in regards to the chamber music series and also the concert in the grass, how often is this? Is there basically music every month as well?
Almost. The concert on the grass is once a year. That one event, it's a less formal event, and that's been going on for about 30 years now. Someone else did it before we took it over. Okay. But the Winter Chamber Music Series is relatively recent. So starting November, we have a series of 6 concerts, one per month, right through April. That's a little different type of performance because we're really getting world class talent in our little town because of a special relationship we have with a very fine conservatory of music. So the two are a little bit different. Concert on the Grass is more informal, casual, picnicky. Mm-hmm. The Winter Concert Series is really a pretty big deal.
Nice. I love that because you need the variety. It's a spice of life. We like it.
Yeah.
With the plum cordial on the side. So everyone, again, for that, it's Three Rivers, PAI.org. So that stands for Performing Arts Institute. Leah, I want to circle back to you because, we're talking about fall and, nature. But you think about Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park. Sequoia is your back door, but I also noticed that, you guys talk a lot about Kings Canyon. Is that somewhere you could also visit during the fall? From Three Rivers easily?
Oh, yes. It's gorgeous. In fact, one of the best ways to do it is by going through Sequoia National Park and connecting. There's a road between the parks that connects you to the Kings Canyon side. And it is gorgeous, too. At the beginning of Kings Canyon, there's a grove of sequoia trees. And then the landscape changes, and it's much more stark and dry, and you're way high up with the Kings River far down below. And then all of a sudden, as you're driving along, a fork of the Kings River comes down and meets you right at the level of the highway. I believe it's the South Fork of the Kings River. And it's green and glassy and clear, right at the level of the road. And this portion of the road is called the Kings Canyon Scenic Byway for good reason. And there are a couple of falls that are located right next to the highway up there. Roaring River Falls is one of them, and Grizzly Falls is another. And that is just gorgeous. It's a beautiful.
You mean we have to come back
park.
again? Yeah. I'm like, I knew we didn't finish. You can't do it in 2 days.
Oh, you can never finish. It's the area is so huge.
It is. I'm like, wait a minute. And why weren't you up there with us? And I'm going to say hi to Dana Dirks too because she took us around and she did such a great job giving us a tour of Sequoia National Park and helping us find our elusive bear. And the meadows are amazing too.
Yes. Where did you find the bear?
Actually,
we ordered one at 9:15,
and arrived with the plum cordial and pizza. Yes. No, actually, is it the Big Meadow? It's right outside the Giant Forest Museum.
The Crescent Meadow, or
no, not Crescent. It's by the Giant Forest Museum. It's Big Meadow.
Log Meadow or something.
It's this meadow where
I gotta look it up.
The same meadow that you sent me the bear photo from.
Oh, that was Round Meadow, the Big Tree
Round
Trail.
Meadow, thank you.
The Big Tree Trail goes around Round Meadow, and yes, there are bears in there for sure.
That's where we saw them. And then the same bear was back again in that afternoon as well. So you've got the park. What about horse riding and hiking, mountain biking? Would you say the fall is really a good season to do it?
Well, Three Rivers has a fantastic expert horsewoman, Christy Wood of Wooden Horse. She can take you on trail rides all through the foothills to see the gorgeous fall color, which is probably arriving in about a month. Usually November is when the color hits full. And you can cross, blue rivers and streams and look at golden hills. And gorgeous color.
You know what we're wanting to do now?
That sounds
the Chinese
really
pistache turns red, dark red.
I
and
know.
It's beautiful.
I was looking at And
the oaks are golden. And in the park, under the sequoia trees, the dogwood turn multiple colors, different colors. I mean, they're rosy, orange, gold, many shades under those huge sequoia trees. In the fall, in Three Rivers...
I'm like, stop it, Leah, just stop it.
I'm driving you crazy, huh?
I'm like, wow.
I want to know.
You asked about mountain biking, I believe. Did you want to hear about that?
Yeah.
Well,
not that I can do it, because that's dangerous. That's dangerous for me to do it. Other people, you go right ahead. But I'll try anything.
Well, you start in Three Rivers. You meet at the very top of Skyline Drive. And up there you parallel park. It's a residential neighborhood, so be respectful of your neighbors. And then you're hiking into this huge territory. It's BLM land, Federal Bureau of Land Management land. And you're in the wild Case Mountain foothills here. There are 14,000 acres.
Wow.
And it's single track and wild. And you go from about the 1,200-foot elevation through some sequoia groves all the way up to the summit of Case Mountain, which is almost 7,000 feet up. And now you're at the edge of Sequoia National Park.
Wow, nice. Now, okay, so we've got the nature experience for fall, and it's nice and cool. You got the changes, and I think a lot of us always think back east is the only place to go for the change of colors of leaves. So I always like to hear it in California that you have it. But event-wise, we've talked about art, music. I was reading that you even have like all these green events too. You have an environmental weekend. You have Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Even Halloween in the Crystal Cave in the Sequoia National Park.
Nice.
That's right. And the environmental weekend is going to be participating in First Saturday this year. So First Saturday falls on October 6th, and the environmental weekend is the same weekend, and they're going to be involved in it. So that makes it extra special.
Oh, cool. So we've got Halloween. You've got all kinds of great events, and everybody, again, all the events are on threerivers.com. There's Living History Day on Saturday. That's October 13th. The environmental weekend, October 6th and 7th. Just yell at me if I'm getting this wrong because I am blonde, Old-fashioned, family-friendly Halloween Carnival. I love this. October 27th. The Halloween at Crystal Cave. Dude, all I want to say is, go, because it's like being in Sinbad land when you go in there.
So awesome in there.
And you go hike through. There's a waterfall, and it's a little trek, but it's beautiful. I found these lilies. I mean, it's just so pretty. And then you get into the actual cave, and there's a big spider on the entrance, the gate.
I know, that is such a cool
So
gate.
it's perfect for Halloween, and the tour is incredible. It's just magic. So
besides, it's fun to go scare people.
Yeah, and you've got like the Holiday Bazaar coming up in November. But I know you're going to be back on our show, Leah, on November 11th, because we're going to talk about Hero Days as well on our special Veterans Day show.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. So before all of you go, because there's just so much going on, I just want to know what your favorite fall activity is in Three Rivers. If you have 2 days off, I don't know how many of us get that anymore, but you got 2 days off. What are you going to do in fall in Three Rivers? So let's start with you, Bill.
Well, I'm going to go on a motorcycle ride.
Ooh.
I will be teaming up with some friends to ride over to the coast and back, and then up through Kings Canyon and across the General's Highway. So we will be seeing all of Sequoia National Park on a big, long motorcycle ride.
Nice. Very nice. I like that. Now, Jeremy, what about you?
My favorite event, it's kind of silly, but again, I like to draw as a hobby, and there's a local video store here that I'm a part owner of, and we have an event called our Monster Contest, and it's where kids basically get to draw whatever they want, and we hang them all up on the wall. We decorate the walls for Halloween with all these pictures of monsters that are drawn by the kids in the community. Yeah, it's fun, and then we have the town actually go through and pick their favorites, and then we give a prize for 3 different levels of entry to 3 winners, and I think that's fun. I look forward to it every year. This is the 3rd year, I think, that we're going to be doing it. So that's my favorite event.
Nice, nice. And I want to tell everybody, because Nancy and I have personally stayed at Three Rivers Bed and Breakfast to check it out. That's a great escape, and it's beautiful. It's right on the river's edge. Like we were chatting with Leah. Wonderful breakfast, just a really relaxed atmosphere. They play great music, and they have good conversations there, and books, and it's just a very relaxed environment. And Leah, we had such a wonderful time staying there. We really did. So we really appreciate that. I do want to ask you, what about people that want to stay in hotels? I was looking like at Comfort Inn. Do you send a lot of people there?
Yes, well, that's our kids' favorite place to go. We've got grown children. We call them children, but they're in their 30s. When they forget to tell us they're coming and the B&B is full, what they love to do is go to the Comfort Inn. It's one of their favorite places, and Peter and I have actually stayed there once in the past before we built our place. And it's owned by Kitty and Henry and Peter Lee. The family owns it. They are Korean from Hawaii, and they moved here to set up this hotel. It was originally, I believe, a Holiday Inn Express, and it had a breakfast, continental breakfast. So when they took it over and then took up with the franchise for Comfort Inn and Suites, it still has that continental breakfast. So it's a pretty good continental breakfast. Waffles are included. The make-your-own waffles there.
Oh, I love watching people try to do that.
That
too.
is so much
fun.
fun.
And I just like to do it. It's like playing with Play-Doh.
It's so simple, but it's just fun to watch people do it.
So, and they have a swimming pool like we do here. So, the kids enjoy it. And that's what they do when they forget to tell us they're coming.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
I want to tell everybody again, the website's threerivers.com, but for Leah, threeriversbedandbreakfast.com. And I was looking, and I think it's sequoiahotel.com for Comfort Inn. I'm looking at their website
That's
now.
right. That's the best website probably. But, you forgot to ask me what I like to do.
I'm not done. Yeah, what are you going to do? I want to know what you and Peter are going to do.
Okay. I want to hear Simone Porter play that violin. I'm looking forward to the chamber music series. That's Bill Haxton's Three Rivers Performing Arts.
He's a musician.
Chamber music series, and the first performance this year is Little Simone Porter. That event is on November 24th. She is a fantastic violinist, and she was the 2011 Davidson Laureate. She has played internationally and wowed everybody, and she's the first one of our special artists coming in this series.
Excellent, cool. Excellent. And can we give a shout out to your daughter, Simone?
Yes.
From the Fast Sales, just what you were saying earlier, Jeremy, she's going to be giving away her album. She was on our Champagne Sunday show not too long ago. I can't remember what date the show was on, but if you go to ChampagneSundaysMagazine.com, you'll be able to listen to our interview with her, and just a delightful lady and great music, great voice. She does have a Kate Bush kind of feel to her, I think, She gets, I like her.
That's one of her influences. The Clash, too. The Clash and Kate Bush.
I love The Clash, too. She rocks. She knows her music.
Yeah. So do I.
Thank you all for joining us. It's been a pleasure, and we can't wait to see you when we come back up to Three Rivers. It'll either be for the bathtub races or the polar bear dip. So I know.
Or both.
I know, really,
Either one, we're going to get wet.
Yeah, we're going to get wet and go have some fun. Leah, like I said, Leah will be back on our show November 11th as well for our special Veterans Day show, a toast to our veterans. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Here's to Three Rivers.
I know. What a good place to go.
Everybody, again, threerivers.com is the place to go for all the events and everything that's happening there, too. And just to, again, for Saturday's show, go to firstsaturdaytr.com. That's the numeric firstsaturdaytr.com for the art event that happens every first Saturday. And also for the music, for the Chamber Music Series and Concert in the Grass, go to threeriverspai.org.